You are tuned into Alternative Trap. This is your host, DJ Jack, aka DJ New Jack City. This is the final episode of the year. We're joined by a very special returning guest, Mr. Ethan Punal, local artist. Ethan, how we doing tonight, man?
Pretty good, man. What about you?
I'm doing fine, Ethan, man. I'm great to have you back on. Got a lot of awesome stuff coming up for you tonight. We just heard Gucci Mane with Saint Brick intro off of East Atlanta Santa 2. Figures a pretty fitting intro for this little holiday-themed episode. One of my favorite Christmas trap songs. But anyways, yeah, let's get right into it. So, Ethan, you're here primarily to talk about this upcoming toy drive you've got on a week from Saturday at 125. Now, tell us about these toy drives you've been doing.
So this is going to be the fourth one. Past couple of years, we've been fortunate to gather around 150, 200 toys each time. We've been able to donate them to some pretty good causes. First year, we sent them over to a school that was newly built out in Haiti after the earthquake. We collect money on the side as well. Last year, we collected money for the victims from Puerto Rico who suffered from the major hurricanes they had. This year, we're going to be donating the toys to Miami Children's Hospital. And then some money's going to be collected on the side to donate to the victims of the California wildfires that happened recently.
Awesome, awesome. So, it's a great way to turn up and have a great time and support a great cause, It's awesome that you're doing this every year, man. This event's going to be held at venue 125, and once again, it's a week from Saturday, so it's December 22nd. We'll be going on from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. We got a full-on art installation by Ethan. We've got DJ Kramer on the deck spinning sounds, and we've got some performances from a lot of locally based talent, including Xali, Gaby G, Tony, Decay, Moongazer, Kaelin Martin, who has been a previous guest on the show, Dragon Fox, Juan, Danny Gauchier. Am I missing anyone, man?
I think you got them all. I think you should have got them all, yeah.
So it's going to be a great time coming up this week from Saturday at 125. So yeah, Ethan, it actually hasn't been that long since we last had you on the show, but a lot has been happening, just in terms of what you've been up to. So the day you were on the show last, I believe, was actually the same day you dropped a Mac Miller piece.
Yeah.
And I saw XXL posted out on their official accounts and everything. Like, what was that like? How did that get set up? I know you've had a close relationship with them.
Yeah, so last time I was on, I talked about when we passed by XXL. I got to meet some of the editors from there. Shout out to Georgette. She's the girl that kind of hooks me up with it all the time. And so they posted the Mac one, and that was insane just because, that was the same day that his celebration of life was happening. So it was a cool thing to see, a lot of his fans and my fans, kind of come together around that, and they really appreciate it. But yeah, since then, I think we've gotten, 2 more on there. I did a Gucci Mane piece that got posted on there for the album Evil Genius that he just came out with. And then most recently, they posted up my recent XXX drawing that they put up for his new album, too. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Quite a couple on there, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to bring up the Gucci because we had just been playing him, but I saw that you even managed to get in contact with him, text him, and he thought it was mad dope.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and restate it real quick. So
sure.
Also last time I was here, I mentioned how we passed by Alamo Records, met Todd Moskowitz and all of this. A friend of mine from there, whose name is Berto, he kind of does all the designs for Gucci Mane's brand Delantic. And so Berto was the one, I got to send him the piece, and Berto was the one who sent it to Gucci. So that was just a screenshot from there. But it was my fault for how I put it up. But yeah, so Berto sent him the piece, and we're kind of in talks now about seeing if something gets done there with Delantic. So hopefully it turns out well.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, Gucci Mane's a legend. He's got a great eye for talent. He's discovered so many of your favorite amazing trap artists today. Ethan's a very talented guy, so I think he'll probably see that. That'd be great to see.
For sure, I hope so. I mean, I would love to get some artwork to Gucci Mane's house, hopefully one day.
Yeah,
see what we can do.
Absolutely, that would be great. Right here in Miami, Gucci, man. If you're passing through Miami, happen to be tuning to WM 90.5, man, look out for Ethan, and we'd love to have you on this show too.
Yeah, let me do the next East Atlanta Santa cover, part 2.
Absolutely, we'd love that. So last time you were on, you were promoting, you had an upcoming solo art showcase back and forth. I believe it coincided, or around that time you also dropped another collection of Leaping Sundogs clothing. How did that event go, and just the whole drop and everything?
So that one was awesome. Shout out to Brian. He's the one that runs back and forth over there here in the Gables. It was super cool, man. That was my second solo show, and a lot of people came out. It was cool that I got to branch out a little bit further from my area of Kendall. So a lot of people came by, you know. A lot of people bought artwork. They hung out. They got to. I made a lot of new fans, and it was cool just to see people in person and how they react to the artwork and appreciate it and stuff. Yeah, it's always a good time to do the shows, especially when it's all about me.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I believe it, man. So you've got at this upcoming charity show an art installation as well. Are you going to be selling work there, or is it just kind of a?
Well, we're gonna be selling some artwork. Yeah. Recently I did a print sale where like I try to get rid of all my inventory, like my old stuff, for like $10.
Mm-hmm.
So all the stuff that I'm still sitting on, I didn't get rid of all of it. So I'm gonna have a couple pieces left over. A little clearance sale going on probably there. People can pass by, pick up some of their older favorite prints. But basically it's gonna be like the venue has a little upstairs room where you're gonna walk in and then you're gonna see all the artwork. Like hopefully I'm trying to cover the walls up with it. And then a friend of mine goes by Lurkin. He does like video installations all the time. He's gonna be setting it up there, so it's kind of gonna be a mix between like him and I. He's gonna be recording the whole thing on like a little VHS quality camera, so it should be cool. And hopefully a lot of people pass by there. They could take little pictures in there and stuff. Yeah, so we're gonna set it up really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds awesome. I wish I'd be in town for that. If you guys are, you know, it sounds like a great time. Just bring a toy through to 125 on December 22nd. He's got this crazy art installation set up, you know, lots of great performances. Gonna be an awesome time. So, also shortly after you came on last time, you had a pretty eventful trip to LA, it seems. Went to Complex Con, saw you were hanging out with Waka Flocka, and his newest Instagram profile picture is your portrait of him.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. How did, like, that get set up?
So that was actually, pretty much every year also I take part in this Los Angeles event called Weird and Awful. It's ran by this guy named Rakeem Miles. He's like kind of coming up over there in LA. So he just kind of throws me on there all the time. I sell artwork. And so this year I saw that he got Waka as the headliner. Normally it's always just like kind of like a local event for people over there, but this year he got Waka, so I was like, oh my, all right, okay, cool. So I want to get a piece of Waka, whatever. And he was able to set that up. So just to give you guys like a little rundown of how it happens, I show up there and the first thing I want to do is meet Waka Flocka. So I go up to my friend Rakeem. I'm like, look, man, I got the piece. I drew it up. I want to get it to him. He's like, okay, no problem. Takes me to the back and he's like, all right, go do your thing. I got to go handle some stuff. So I'm by myself. I walk in and I see Waka Flocka, who's a huge dude in person, just sitting down on the sofa right there. And then there's like 30 people who I'm guessing like is made up of his family and friends. So it's just a lot of people in there. So I got a little bit intimidated at first. And of course he's a legend, so I'm already nervous up front. So I walk in, I'm like, hey Waka, I'm here to give you some artwork. And he's like, oh, so you're Ethan. And I was like, immediately I was like, holy cow, okay. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, that's me. I had the print in my hand. So he stands up, he's like towering over me. Makes me even more nervous. So then he's like, hold on. So he like daps me up. It was super respectful. He's an awesome guy. He's looking at the piece and he's like, let's take a picture real quick. Some of his family was able to like take some pictures. They were all like blown away by the piece. It was awesome. And then yeah, so we got to take the picture. I thought that was it. And then he's like, hang on, take a seat real quick. So I'm like, even more like, all right, let's see what he wants. So I sit down next to him, and then he just starts asking. He basically does like a little mini interview with me, and he starts asking me like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, what have you done? What have you worked with? Like, what do you have next? Blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we're just talking, like chopping it up a little bit. And then, you know, we got to exchange numbers, follow each other on Instagram. And then, so then I'm like, oh, I actually have some artwork for sale here at the show. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go see it. So he walks out with me. So everyone sees me, Waka Flocka, and his whole entourage following behind him. And he sees all the prints that I have. I had like 100 there. And he's looking through, and then he's like, how much for both of these books that you have? So I'm like, you know, no one's ever asked me, but like, I mean, I would be happy to sell them to you. He's like, all right, come to me with a price, and then, you know, I'll get them from you. I want to buy all your prints from you right now. So then he's like, hit me up after the show, whatever, we'll be able to do it. So the show passes, and I'm like, okay, obviously I got to sell this stuff to Waka Flocka. I can't find him at the end because stupid situation with the security guards. So then, but I had his number, so I called him. I'm like, hey man, look, I still want to get this artwork to you. Is there any way possible? And he's like, yeah, I just hopped on a plane to Portland right now, but my manager's still here. Meet up with him tomorrow. So then I got to meet up with the manager, gave him the artwork, gave me the money, and it was amazing, man. So now, happy to say Waka Flocka is the biggest owner of Ethan Punal artwork collection in the entire world. So yeah, pretty crazy.
That's incredible, man. Yeah. I knew we did your artwork, but I didn't know how much. Two books of 200 prints, you said?
It's 100. It's 100 prints. So it's two books that has 50 prints in each. So
that's wild, man.
Yeah, and you know, it's not even just of like people. I mean, he knows like there's a couple rappers in there, but it's not just like Waka Flocka related. Yeah, he has like a bunch of people. So I'm assuming he'll probably use it for like a coffee book table or something. I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah, any rappers passing through Waka Flocka's house will
Yeah.
get treated to the work of Ethan Punal. That's really awesome, man. Because I'm sure Waka Flocka has been famous for years and years. Like I'm sure he's gotten plenty of fan art and all that. But to go to that extent, I mean, not just for the Instagram picture, but buying your stuff, like that's super awesome.
Yeah,
man.
and what's crazy is actually one of the last times he performed here in Miami was at that venue Grand Central that got shut down, and I was actually there with some friends of mine from high school, and I crowd surfed at that show against my own will. I got lifted up and put on top of the crowd, and I got thrown on stage, and like I was just like in a daze. So Waka Flocka picks me up and throws me back into the crowd, and I had a picture of like I got this huge bruise on my back, and I got to show it to Waka Flocka. He's like, "Oh, I think I remember that." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Okay, cool."
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
it wasn't your first encounter.
No, yeah, came full circle finally.
That's awesome. So, yeah, you were out in California for Weird and Awful, met Waka Flocka. That's awesome. Speaking of California, you know, I noticed, well, in the past months, a couple mixtapes have come out that you've designed the cover art for, one including for up-and-coming Cali rapper Coop Cujo at Burning Flowers 4. And you also designed the new Swag Hollywood mixtape cover, Thru Chapters Part 2. Big fans of Swag Hollywood on the show. I've played him a decent amount. How'd those come about? Like the...
So the first one, the Burning Flowers, that was just, I'm not even sure how he came across my Instagram or something like that, but that was just simple. You know, he hit me up. He's like, "I like your work. Want to get some stuff done." So we got to get that one just like out real quick. I was really happy with how it turned out. And you know, now we're working on getting the back cover done. I think that's coming out in January. He had told me. I think he messaged me today about it. The Swag Hollywood one, I've kind of known Swag for a while. Early 2017, we went on tour together, basically. And so I was selling art there, and, you know, we had just talked a little bit there, but nothing ever really came about. And then just recently we came across each other again over social media. I got to do a portrait for him. I sent it to his house. He has it there. And then he was just like, "Look, I have this EP that's dropping. Do you want to do some cover art for it?" I was like, "Yeah, that'll be all right." I mean, to me, from like when SoundCloud started like coming up, Swag Hollywood was like an OG in that game. So
yeah,
it was pretty awesome to get some work in with him.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And you know, speaking of you working with like kind of OGs of the past couple years, maybe a lesser known name y'all might not recognize, but I've definitely heard his music is one of my favorite producers, Super Mario. He's produced he's one of Young Thug's main producers for years, but he's also done stuff with Drake, with Lil Uzi, with like a lot of the biggest rappers of the past several years. And I noticed he commissioned you to get that artwork done, which is awesome. How did that come about? He just found you on social media?
Yeah, all of this is done pretty much through social media. Super Mario, I believe it was through, well, actually, last time I was on here, you played the Uzi song I did the cover art for the heavy metal one, and Mario actually produced that song.
Oh, word.
So
okay.
when that song dropped, I guess he liked the artwork enough that, you know, he followed me, and then he just messaged me, and, you know, we got that portrait in. Now some work is being done with the portrait. Maybe we're going to get it on some clothes or something like that. I was actually on the phone with his manager this morning, so kind of like figuring some stuff out. But yeah, you know, Mario's a super cool guy. He's super solid. He's like one of my favorite people that I've worked with before. He's actually getting ready to do like a beat kit, probably like a tape of beats and stuff like that. And he reached out to me to do the cover art too. So that's coming soon also.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. It's big stuff ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, just you know, going over some of the other crazy stuff that happened in the past month. I noticed had some wild fan love with you had a fan tattoo one of your portraits on them.
Yeah. So that was actually he's a videographer. He's out in California, and that was he had some friends pass away at an Xavier Wolf show last year. Yeah, so he reached out to me because I mean he liked my artwork enough that he wanted me to do some portraits of them, and so I was obviously more than willing with it because it's, you know, no one's ever gotten the artwork tattooed on them, and it was for like, you know, a good thing to do. So yeah, he just reached out to me, wanted me to do some portraits of like his late buddies, and you know, we got it done, and it seems super cool. It's still crazy to me that now he has it inked on him forever. You know, obviously it's his friends, but it's still like my rendition of his friends. Yeah. So it's super crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more people get some artwork inked on them. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. The first of many.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned earlier, you recently, Art Bustle happened this weekend, which, as you guys know, down here in Miami is a crazy eventful weekend every year. And one of the big things that happened this year, you went to the XXX release party and got some of your artwork of him to many of his close associates, including DJ Scheme, you know, his main best friend, Ronnie J, his producer, Matt Ox, the legendary 11-year-old rapper, man. Like, How did that link up? Just art ball stuff bumping into them like at the event.
So Scheme is actually a homie of mine. We talk sometimes online. And we've been meaning to link up. It's just, he's been on tour with Ski Mask, and then as soon as he came back, he went on tour with Fat Nick. Then he came back and went again to Texas for the Posty Fest and stuff. So he's kind of like in and out of Miami. So we've never really had a chance to like be able to fully link up. We're always talking online because I have a couple like pieces that I've done of X and Ski. I did one of him even, and so he's always wanted to get a piece. So he actually invited me out to the X show, and he was like, "Look, if you bring a couple, maybe we can give it out to his family." And I know X's mom, Cleo, like the last X piece that I did, they have it in his mausoleum, actually. So, yeah, so she's already, like, appreciated the artwork in the past. So, since I did the new one, that also the XXL posted and stuff like that, just got to pass by. And as soon as I got to the, like, backstage area, I just saw, like, rapper after rapper after rapper. So, luckily I brought almost enough prints to give out to pretty much everyone. But I was definitely happy to get to Matt Ox. He's, like, more of a rapper in person than you could even imagine. It was very intimidating, and he's just a little boy, so it was awesome. It was super cool.
That's incredible. I couldn't imagine a better story from meeting Matt Ox. That's like everything I hoped.
He was like standing by his trailer kind of with like two big like dudes right behind him, and I was just like, that's Matt Ox. Okay, let me approach him. And he's just like, hey man, what's up? It's me, Matt Ox. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, Matt Ox. And then something crazy that happened actually, since we were backstage, all of a sudden we hear that Kanye is like coming out at that show. So, everyone's like kind of like trying to get in good position to see him on stage, but I'm trying to get in good position to like see him after so I can get him some artwork. And luckily I had seen like either the day before or like 2 days prior that he was in town recording with T Grizzly. So I'm looking and I see T Grizzly standing on stage close enough for me to like tap him and stuff. So I have a Kanye piece with me and an X piece, just by like some miracle of God. I have the Kanye piece on me, and I'm like, yo, give this to Kanye after if you can. I didn't have any pieces for him, but like I was like, if you can, just give this to Kanye after. And he's like, what? Because all the music and stuff. I'm like, Kanye, give this to Kanye. And he's like, oh, okay, I got you, no problem. So I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that Kanye on one of his like random Twitter days, he just posts a picture of the artwork just so I can give it a retweet real quick.
Man, 100%. I could see that happening. That's incredible, man.
Hopefully.
That's awesome. Awesome. So, speaking of Kanye, he's got a great Christmas song that I wanted to play this episode. So, it's called Christmas in Harlem, if you guys aren't hip. So, we're going to play that real quick before we close off with Ethan. But before we play this, I just want to remind all y'all listening that Ethan's got a very awesome special toy drive coming up a week from Saturday at 125. Is this venue's called?
Yeah, his name is 125.
Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be going on from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's going to be an awesome event. You have got to bring a toy for admission. Great time for a great cause. So, maybe check that out if you're interested in being a good person and having a good time. Anyways, here's Kanye with Christmas in Harlem, guys. Keep it locked to Alternative Trap. Good evening, Miami. You're tuned into Alternative Trap. This is your host, DJ Jack, a.k.a. DJ New Jack City. We are joined tonight, if y'all hadn't been tuned in, by a special returning guest, very talented local artist, Ethan Punal. Ethan, how we doing, man?
Pretty good, Jack.
Glad to hear, man. Glad to have you on. And we got a couple more questions for Ethan, but before that, I just want to go over the last couple songs we played, because, all of them have a little bit of relevance to tonight. So, first off, we heard Kanye with Christmas in Harlem, who, Kanye's definitely, he at times, he's trap. I would definitely not consider this song trap, but, it's not many hip-hop Christmas songs, and I just love this song so much, I had to give it some airtime. After that, we had Matt Ox with Pull Up featuring Key, which I played both of those because Ethan was just talking about in the last break. He didn't exactly meet Kanye, but he got some artwork to Kanye at this X tribute show over the weekend. He met Matt Ox. Sounded like an incredible story. Following that, we had Matt Ox with Valet featuring Matt Ox with Awesome. Valet being one of my favorite rappers, and actually got to talk to him for a little bit this weekend during Art Basel, which is pretty exciting. Told him about the show. He really liked the idea, and got him to record a little bit of the sweeper, which y'all might have heard in between one of the songs tonight. But that was cool, talking to one of my favorite rappers. After that, we had Kodak Black with Free Cool Part 2, which, is not really a Christmas song at all. It's his freestyle over the Hardaway beat by Derez Deshawn. But I remember when he uploaded to SoundCloud, it was about a year ago, around this time last year, Christmas time. The picture was him standing in front of the Christmas tree at what's that like Christmas carnival thing down here?
Santa's?
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I've always kind of vaguely associated with Christmas since then. So, yeah, this Kodak Free Cool Part 2. And then just most recently, we had Reese LaFleur with Sweet, who Reese LaFleur also ran into multiple times this weekend, actually. Talked to him for a little bit. He talked to him about the show and got him to record that. So, yeah, let's get back into it with Ethan. Ethan, how you doing, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Enjoying the Christmas season.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so am I. It's great. Let's talk about, since the last time you came on, another pretty big milestone in your careers. You reached your first 1,000 likes on a picture. What was that like?
I mean, it was mind-blowing considering to see, like, I found an old tweet of mine from, like, I want to say almost 2 years ago where I just got my first 100 likes. And I was, like, tweeting about it because I was super excited. So it was cool to, like, kind of compare us around the same time, actually. It was crazy, man. It was for the most recent X piece that I did, I was talking about earlier. And what kind of helped it out is it got posted on XXL, it got posted on Elevator as well, so they like drew some more attention. But it was a little bit bittersweet just because like the 1,000 likes kind of came with a lot of frantic XXX fans also.
Yeah.
I mean, it came with a lot of love and a lot of people, you know, hitting me up for artwork, a lot of new fans, but a lot of preteen to late teen XXX fans who were confused about the piece, I want to say.
Yeah, no, a lot of this stuff you were telling me off air, it's not exactly FCC clean for us to repeat, but, you know, artists as big as X definitely have, you know, some crazy fans, and the more exposure you get, you know, I feel like the more that comes with, so... Yeah, sorry I had to go through that, man, but I don't know, you know, I guess it comes with the milestones. And
yeah, it was annoying, but it was also super cool just to see, like, all these people being so, like, emotional over an art piece that I did. And, you know, it's interesting because, like, pop culture, like, pop art isn't really associated with, like, drawing emotions from people. And, you know, people don't really sit and, like, let's say, like, interpret the artwork or anything like that. But to have all these people like having a discussion in my Instagram comments about it, it was cool to see like such a controversial art piece, which like when I did it, I thought it was amazing, but you know, there's always going to be some people who disagree with you. Yeah,
no, for sure. It's just, you know, as we were kind of talking about off air, when it comes to XXX, it's not really possible to have like a non-controversial conversation, but I mean, I feel like just this piece is really respectful. It's just hard to please everyone always, and you know, it got the attention, it got people talking, and you know, as you're saying, X's mom is a big fan of your work to the point where she has a piece of your work in your mausoleum, and you know, one of his best friends, DJ Scheme, one of his main producers, Ronnie J, like they all mess with your artwork. So you know, I feel like when it comes to the people that matter in X's circle, you know, it's all respect, it's all love.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, to add on to that, you know, all the artwork that I do, like, I started doing this just because, like, I have always looked up to these kind of people, and I've kind of always, like, idolized people like Kanye and Lil Wayne and stuff like that. So I've always just wanted to be, like, involved with this, like, rap culture as much as I could. But it's all out of respect. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it to make fun of these people, especially not, you know, like the person who just passed. So for people who, like, online who may think that, like, I am doing it to be, like, funny or stuff like that, it really is just, like, I respect these people. I'm trying to honor them with the pieces and stuff. You know, I take time out of, like, my day, and, like, I've worked very hard to, like, get to this point with my artwork where I'm trying to make them each piece better than the last one, just in honor of these people.
Oh, absolutely. And I hope everyone that'd be tuned in tonight would realize that, you know, like, you really are a fan of the hip-hop culture, doing this all out of respect. Like, it's pretty clear just listening to you talk how hard you work and how dedicated you are. I think it's just, you know, when it comes to a fan base as big as X, especially with as many young fans as his, and just not everyone's familiar with your art style, that's just kind of like how you draw, and not everyone's familiar with your story, how serious you take it. But, you know, ultimately, I feel like it seems like the reception was more positive than negative, so, you know, ultimately a good thing.
Yeah, they got to listen to the last alternative trap interview to get the full behind-the-scenes story.
Absolutely. You want to hear the Ethan Punal story, you know, you can check us out on SoundCloud or YouTube. It'll be this one and the one from a little more than a month ago. So, yeah, if you're curious about that, for, you know, all the other publications start picking them up, you know, XXL, No Jumper. Sure, that's all coming soon, but remember, we got it here first. So you're telling me also in the time since our last interview, you made a trip out to Houston, chasing down Travis. You went to the Astroworld Festival. You're chasing down Travis Scott, trying to get work to him. Tell me about that trip.
Yeah, so we are in hot pursuit of Travis Scott. I mentioned last time we were here that I'm trying to work with him. So again, Travis Scott, just like Gucci Mane, if you're listening to 90.5, you know, hit up your boy. But yeah, so we went out there. We went to the Astroworld Festival. and brought a bunch of pieces. I brought a bunch of like Cactus Jack related pieces, which is his label that he started with Sheck West, Smoke Perp, Don Tolliver. So brought a bunch of those. You know, we went to the festival, and I bring all my pieces framed whenever I know I'm gonna get them to a person, just because they always look better framed, and you know it's easier to carry around framed. So I'm here trying to get into the festival, and the security guards are like, no, you can't bring in the frames. So I'm like, okay. It was like a 20-minute walk back to the car to put in the frames.
Such a pain.
Yeah, so it was just like, it was really cold. Then I had to like carry the paper. They were like flopping in the wind, but I was trying like my best to keep them safe. Finally got into the show. You know, we're looking around, enjoying the sights. We stood in a huge line for merchandise. That was horrible. And then, you know, we're kind of just looking around again. All of a sudden, on a golf cart passes by, not Travis Scott, but his DJ, Chase B. And he was actually, like, partnered there with Metro Boomin. So I was in, like, mid-conversation. And then I'm like, hold on. I ran after the golf cart. And I was like, yo, Chase B, take this artwork, bro. Give this to Travis Scott. I gave him, like, a couple of them. He's like, all right, bro, I got you. Don't worry about it. So hopefully the day that I do meet Travis, and if he ever invites me over to his house, he has like over 100 pieces of mine, hopefully hung up, you know, from all the people who have said that they will give it to Travis Scott, but I guess we'll see about that. And then after the festival, the following day we passed by, he had a pop-up shop for his new store called Space that he's doing with Chase B, and we waited in line because they were actually re-releasing his Cactus Jack Jordans. So we were waiting in line. It started raining on us. It was horrible. He got sick and stuff like that just because of standing in the rain for so long. And then as soon as we're getting in, the guy's like, oh, yeah, Travis is going to be here in a little bit. So we're like, okay, obviously we got to wait. But the thing is, with the store, they were saying you only have an 8-minute time limit to be inside the store. So it was really weird. We were trying to, like, stay hidden in the corner so that they wouldn't see us being there for so long. And finally, like, yo, you got to go. But I had spoken to an employee, and he was like, look, man, if Travis comes, I'm going to hit you up. Let me get you your number. I'll bring you back in. I'll sneak you in. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we're kind of, like, waiting there. We were, like, almost, like, 4 hours outside the store. And then all of a sudden a car pulls up, and I'm like, okay, everyone's like crowding around. I'm like, okay, this is Travis. Out pops a girl who looks just like Kylie Jenner. And I'm like, okay, Kylie Jenner or Travis Scott? I gotta get it to Kylie Jenner then if I have to. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready. And out pops Don Tolliver instead of Travis Scott, which, you know, Don Tolliver is still, you know, he's cool. On Can't Say. It's cool, but I was just like, you are not Travis Scott, man. You got my hopes up so bad. So I got to talk to him a little bit. I gave him, I didn't get to get him a piece of him, but I gave him a Travis piece, you know, another one that might be part of Travis's collection. Sure. But yeah, man, we were waiting there. And then we found out Travis the whole time was actually at City Hall getting Astroworld Day approved. So didn't work out that time, but we're going to get him the next time.
Hey, man, yeah, well, you're dedicated. I'm sure he'll get it eventually. And he's just an elusive guy, so, you know, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if he is building up that collection in his house that he's just going to let you know about one day. But you're telling me, actually, it's just been more recent years that it's been so difficult to get in contact with him, and that you actually met him a couple times, like, back at the beginning, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I had actually came across Travis, like, in my, like, early high school days. I just used to, like, watch Kanye West interviews all the time, or Kanye West related videos. Like, that's my, like, number one favorite artist of all time, I want to say. So back when, like, Travis was still gearing up signing with T.I. and Kanye, I just saw, like, on the little suggestions, Travis Scott, he had a video called Lovesick, and you know, I just checked it out, whatever. And from then on, I just got the ball rolling. Like, I saw that he was coming to Miami. There was a whole thing called Basil Castle. So a bunch of my friends, my buddies from high school, and, you know, we went there. We actually got to meet. That was the first time we met. And we walked by, and a friend of mine was like, yo, it's Travis Scott. So we walked up to him, and he tells Travis, like, Travis, this is your biggest fan right here. And then we all took a picture. And what's interesting about the picture is that if I'm his biggest fan, I'm actually in the back of the picture, and you can't even see me. So I was like, okay, you guys kind of screwed me at that one. Yeah. But so yeah, we met him there, and then he came maybe a couple months later. He went to Aventura Mall, the store Unknown, and he was doing like a meet and greet there. And I didn't know it was like a whole meet and greet thing. I just thought he was there. So some friends of mine, again, we went, and I got to see he was there. And for some reason, I had just went on high school. You know, they do those like college trip things. Like, you go to a bunch of things. So like 2 days before that, I went in there. We went right after school, and the only thing I had was like one of these little Bibles that some Christian group there gave me. So I popped out this mini Bible. I was like, yo, can you sign this? He's like, yo, this is so dope, bro. Let me sign this, whatever. So that was another time. And then the final time that I got to meet him was, again, a few years back. He performed at Grand Central, and that was like even days before Rodeo came out. And he did like a little meet and greet after that. We got to see Skyfall like perform for the first time ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So then like, man, there was my buddy Kaelin's birthday. So like, I was like, yo, it's his birthday. They started like play fighting there. We got to record, and it was just cool. We talked to him a little bit there, but like since then, after being on a hot streak of beating him, I have not been able to like pin him down in one place to be like, this is some artwork. Let's get some work in. So hopefully soon though.
Yeah, hopefully. But I mean, as we are talking about off air, Travis is now one of the biggest artists in all of music, not just hip hop. But I mean, in hip hop right now, the only current artists bigger than him are Kendrick and Drake, who are debatably from a generation before him. I'd say he's, of the past 5-6 years, he's easily the biggest. So, it's crazy, but you're clearly a day one fan. I mean, you're saying you've been bumping him since Lovesick, which was, months and months before even his first mixtape. So, I feel like if it's one like dedicated diehard fan that, deserves to get the art to him, it's you. So, I think it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, I'm hoping to meet him, share all these backstories of all these failed attempts, and then
share
he appreciates it even more. So hopefully, it gets done soon.
For sure. That's awesome, man. So yeah, you've got some cool, exciting projects coming up. You're doing, I'm not sure necessarily if this is final, but I know you talked about doing artwork for upcoming Trill Sammy and Shoreline Mafia projects. And another mixtape we can't exactly mention is still in the works, but with one of the hottest producers in the game and very hot singer, rapper, artist. So if that pans out, you'll know. But big stuff coming up. Anything you want to say about any of these projects or anything else big you got coming up, man?
Yeah, you guys just gotta stay tuned. See when they drop. Follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to see the day they drop. And it's gonna be crazy, man. Big things only from this point on.
For sure. That's how we do it. So yeah, on Instagram you can be found at Ethan Ryan Punal, also on Twitter, right?
Yeah, same thing everywhere.
And you got your clothing brand there at Leaping Sundogs.
Yep, Leaping Sundogs. Same thing on Twitter, Instagram, Leaping Sundogs.
Hell yeah, man. So that about wraps up the questions I had for you. Once again, you're having this event. It's your 4th annual Christmas toy drive. This a week from Saturday at 125 is the venue. Yeah. You've got to bring a toy to get in. Great. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe can't say go check it out, but if you want to have fun, it's not a bad idea. Got a lot of awesome performers. Guests we've had on this show, DJ Kramer, a.k.a. Hannah. She'll be DJing. We've got my friend Kaelin, very talented Kaelin Martin is one of the performances. And Ethan's got a really cool, unique-sounding art installation he's going to be setting up there. So, guys, go check it out. Support a great cause. And yeah, is there anything you want to add to the people before we log off for tonight?
No, yeah, you guys just gotta enjoy your holiday season. If you're in town and you can make it out to the toy drive, it'll be a great time. The address is actually 12236 Southwest 132nd Court. It's here in Miami, Florida. And like you mentioned, we got DJ Kramer, Tony Decay, Moongazer, Kaelin, Dragon Fox, Juan, Danny G, Xali, and Gaby G. So it's going to be a great time. It's 4th annual one. We can get some toys to some hospitals, and we're going to send the money out to California for the wildfire. So, we're going to have some food vendors there, hopefully, and it should be cool. Got some cool art stuff planned. So it should be a good time. Pass out if you can.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. A great time, great people, and a great cause. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate having you on as always. As you said, only big things going forward. So I'm sure at some point next semester when we return, you'll be back on with even crazier stories for us. But as always, it's great to have you on, man. Thank you so much. I wish I could be there for this event. Fortunately, I can't, but it's going to be a great time. Signing off. Anything else you wanted to add? I know I just asked that, but
no, yeah. Thank you, Jack. Thank you to the people who are tuning in. Thank you to all the people who support me and love the artwork. It's all love only, man.
All right, awesome. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.